2.5, eh? Okay. Hello there, my name is Enock. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV.
Mountain Moving Faith. This is my latest book. And if you want to learn how you can move mountains, life has many mountains. While this journey, you will encounter mountains and you wonder, how can I move mountains? This is a book to read. And it took me time to research, to pray, and to wait on God and look at the scriptures and what Jesus talked about moving mountains. And this book is quite a story, it's quite an inspiration. It is quite something that will change your life. So order your copy today. We can send it to you wherever you are in this country. We will be able to send this book to you on Mountain Moving Faith. Call that number or send a message and our team will be able to ship it to you wherever you are. There's a book to read. You can also buy for your friend, for a family as a gift. And I have no doubt they will thank you and that they will be always thankful for what you have done for them. So God bless you as you read this book, Mountain Moving Faith.
This is a hospital in Risambo along Lumumba Drive. We are level 4 facility, SHA accredited.
One in 5 children in Africa do not receive all the necessary and basic vaccines. According to the World Health Organization, that translates to over 30 million children below 5 years who are suffering from vaccine-preventable diseases annually. With the recent outbreaks we hear in the country, what is being done to close these immunization gaps? Let's find out today. Greetings, welcome to the Healthy You. This is your favorite health program on Faith Today television, bringing you health insights with experts. My name is Enock Kitondekijja and I'm your host. Of course, we cannot start without recognizing our distinguished partners. That is JCK Hospital. You can find them in Roysambu along Lumumba Drive. They are also in Mariaini and Juja Farm. Contact them using the number on your screen. Today is a very special day. We dive into the topic that directly impacts every family, every child, and the nation at large. Yes, we know that vaccines save lives, but we are seeing gaps here and there. What are we doing to fill these gaps? We have experts in the building, special guests from the sub-county to help us break this down. You don't want to miss this discussion. today. But before I invite them to take us to the next level, I'm aware we have those of you who are following us on social media. We want to recognize you and appreciate you. Remember to follow us. Press that subscribe button. If you have any question, let it come through. And you know how we do it. The earlier you do, the better. Use that number on your screen. Let your questions come through. Back to my guests. They always say ladies first. Once again, we have one distinguished lady who was with us on the previous show, and I'm very happy to have her again. Madam Kimani, you are welcome. Once again, for our viewers who missed you last time, feel free to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. My name is Jane Kimani. I coordinate health promotion activities within Ruaraka, Roysambo sub-county, and I do communicate about health issues. I do advocate about health issues, and I do social mobilize about health issues. And Jessica has been our partners in this. We've been partnering with them, making sure that we reach to our community with health information. Thank you very much.
Oh, that is indeed wonderful, knowing that you are working with the Jessica Hospital. That gives me a lot of courage and confidence in you. Thank you so much for serving.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And you are welcome. We have a gentleman on your right. Would you kindly introduce yourself to our viewers?
Good morning, viewers. Thank you for having me here this morning. My name is Gerald Mwaniki. I work at Ruaraka sub-county in Nairobi County as a program officer within the immunization department, that is EPI, as a logistician. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Gerald. How long have you been working with the government? Just to start.
Maybe by just experience more than 20 years.
Okay.
And then in terms of immunization, I've been working there for more than 10 years.
More than 10 years. So our viewers, you should know that we are having experts today. That means that if you have any question regarding our topic today, we are closing the immunization gap. We are wondering, are we doing enough? What is the government doing? And later on, you will know your part in this fight. Experts are here in the building. Now, before we even get into the nitty-gritties and talk about the gaps, we would want to understand immunization. What is immunization, and why is it very important a step in the infection prevention and control endeavors?
Thank you very much for that question. If I may start, immunization is just like the word says. Immune is building the immunity of whoever is receiving the immunization. And immunization, it's a process. It is a process where we build the immunity through vaccination. So we give the vaccine to build the immunity of this child, of this adult. In other words, we trigger the cells of the body, the antibodies of this person who is whole, so that when the disease comes in, you are able to fight back. Generally, that is all about what we can say about immunization. About immunization. Yeah.
And I love the way you really break it down for us. Immunization, building our immune system. And how do you do that? What are you introducing in our bodies? Probably Mr. Gerald can help us understand that.
Maybe thank you for this. As my colleague has said, the way we do it, vaccines are also called antigens, and antigens are a protein in nature. Once they have been introduced in our body, either through injection, it can also be given orally, it triggers or it stimulates our body systems, our immune system, to produce the antibodies. These antibodies are very, very specific to certain diseases. So you get the antibody, it's in our bodies, so anytime that you get an infection, we have the immunity. And the immunity is the ability to protect somebody from any infection. Thank you.
Wow, that is very interesting. You are building our immunity. You are stimulating the immune system to be able to fight back in case we get these invaders. Okay, and that is very important to note. And of course, help us understand, like, what is the supply chain like? Like, how do you guys how do I get to get this vaccine? How does it reach me?
Okay, before I come to the supply chain, also good to note that our children, when they are being born, they have very little or maybe the little immunity. Very low immunity. That's why we normally give the children the antibodies, the antigens, the vaccine very early in life, so that we can be able to protect them against the diseases. So now when I come to the supply chain, most of our vaccines, they come from India. Most of them, they come from India. Then from the India, they come through the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Our main store, the national store, is in Kitondekijja. So from India to Kitondekijja, so from there Kitondekijja, we have regional stores. We have 9 of them. And we have one in Nairobi, we have one in Nyeri, Nakuru, Kisumu, Eldoret. So these are the regional stores. So for us here in Nairobi, we normally get our vaccines from the Nairobi regional store. So from the regional stores, we have sub-county depots. So these sub-county depots, from there they go to the facilities. So that's the way they normally distribute vaccines from India, Kitondekijja, regional stores to sub-county stores, now to the facilities. When it comes to the facilities, the government has partnered with private, the faith-based facilities, so that they can be able to reach every child in our community. So when you go to any of our public facilities, immunization is a must in our public facilities. Most of the faith-based facilities, where the JSK is also part of us, they normally offer immunization. And the schedule is able to be given Monday. For public facilities, we normally give from Monday to Friday. For private, the faith-based normally give from Monday to Sunday. They also offer the daily for them. They have an advantage of that. So we have collaborated with the private and the faith-based facilities, so they can be able to reach every child in our community. So we have reduced that distance. We have many facilities within our communities, so we are able to reach every child in our community. Thank you.
Wow, and that is very important to note, that you guys get these vaccines. The government makes sure that every public facility is able to access them. You've also told us private facilities are able to also as well access these vaccines. I think that's very important. Does anyone have to pay for these vaccines? For example, you've talked about JCK Hospital being one of your collaborators. Do we have to pay for these vaccines?
So in terms of cost, okay, let me go back again in terms of distribution. Vaccines are very, very fragile. They are very delicate, so need to be handled with care. We normally call it the cold chain system. So they come in a frozen. Some they are in the frozen state, like the BCG, the polio, the measles. Then you also have the other vaccines. They are kept at between 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. So they are very fragile. They can be damaged by heat, can be damaged by freezing. So these are some of the challenges we can face. To our facilities, all the facilities, they must have a cold chain system. The vaccine carriers, they must have a fridge that is WHO recommended. So all the fridges that we use, they are WHO recommended. They go through the system by the World Health Organization to qualify it, if it can be used in our facilities. So that's very important. So in terms of cost, we normally give all facilities free of charge. It is free of charge. Does not matter whether it's private, whether it is faith-based or public facilities, as we give free of charge. But maybe in certain cases, because they are private, they need to pay some cost, maybe electricity cost, they need to pay their workers, they are allowed to charge very minimal charges.
Okay.
Yeah, but we give it free of charge.
Free of charge.
Yeah.
So from the government to the institutions, it is free of charge.
Yeah.
That's very important.
What the logistics, the vaccine, the syringes, safety box that are required, it is free of charge.
It's free of charge.
Yeah.
All right, I think that is good for a start, the preamble I like. And now let us shift gears. I believe Madam Kimani here is going to help us understand. We have a challenge. There is a challenge. We've realized there are gaps in the immunization infrastructure. Is it true that there are communities that are missing out on these vaccines, as much as Mr. Gerald here says vaccines are available, the government supplies, we've had terms like free of charge. Are there communities that are missing out on these vaccines?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. If I may say, we can't miss some communities who are missing this vaccine. And even before I got there, globally, there are also gaps in immunization. And there are strategies that we have put in place to make sure that every child has been reached.
I think I like that.
Yeah.
The urgent question right now, I know there's a viewer who, if he misses this one, they will not forgive us. Are there communities that are missing out on vaccines? Because looking at this, help me understand, we have had outbreaks. Recently, there was a polio outbreak. We've had cases of measles.
Yeah.
Help us understand, are there communities that are the ones that really are exposing us to these,
Definitely, and that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
There's some beliefs, like religious beliefs. There are people who don't believe in hospital. They don't believe that they can go to receive blood. They don't believe that they can receive the treatment that it's normally given. So they believe by being prayed for. That is one of the causes of why some of the communities are missing out. And not only immunization, even in other ailments, they are never treated because they are believing in prayer. And some of those communities, for example, there is a Kavonokia community. But we don't just ignore that this is a community that don't believe in hospitalization or don't believe in receiving the vaccine, for example, what we are talking today. There are strategies that we still apply to make sure that that child has been reached. Why? Because one case of, for example, polio, it's an outbreak.
I think that's very important. Double click on that. One case of polio,
it's an outbreak.
It's declared an outbreak.
Exactly.
Carry on.
And even one case of cholera, it's also an outbreak.
An outbreak. Yeah.
Remember, this vaccine is of different infectious diseases. And that's why I'm specifying some of the diseases where if we hear a case, the country has to be up and do something we call a campaign everywhere. So some of those communities like Kavonokia, most of the communities that don't receive the vaccine, it's due to religious beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very important to note that the gaps we are having today partly are contributed because of people's beliefs. Is it because that you guys are not doing enough training or sensitization about this? I don't know what Mr. Gerald has to say about that. Is it that the sub-county is not doing enough sensitization? What do you think?
Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, in most of our sub-counties, what we are normally doing, we have a lot of community engagement. We normally have community dialogues in our communities. We normally go to chiefs in Barasa. So in those Barasas, in community dialogue, we normally engage the communities one-on-one. So what are the challenges that they are facing? If they have any issue with immunization, that's an issue that can come up very easily. When you normally visit the chiefs in Barasa, when we are talking with the chiefs in Barasa, again the same, if there are the issues with the community, they will come up. And then, because we have the expert within the community, we are able to discuss if there are issues. So our strategy is the community dialogue. But okay, the issue is not with very much in our setup, in our sub-county. Yeah. Otherwise, for us, we are performing quite well in terms of immunization currently.
Wow. Yeah. That's important. You have something to add.
If at all I may add to that, when I talk about the religious belief as one of the causes, that is not only the cause. There are other causes, like the myths and the misinformation.
Yeah.
You know, the rumors that if I receive this is going to happen. Those are all causes of why that person has not gone for the vaccine. Yeah. But it is not that we are not doing enough. There are different strategies that we are applying.
Yeah.
Remember, there are different antigens, which we are going to mention. Some for adult, some for children. And there are strategies that are in place, like going to schools, that's a strategy. Going to churches, that is a strategy. And that is one way of passing the information. Having community engagements or conversations. That means we have also stakeholders. And like when you're having stakeholders, I make sure that I have involved one of your person from your organization, all the opinion readers that we are having. So we normally also have stakeholders meetings where we start with the leaders, informing them the importance and the benefits of immunization. So there are different strategies that we apply. Remember, we also consider, is it the knowledge gap? So we normally have data. As we give the vaccine, there are registers which are normally filled. And out of those registers, we call them MOH registers. We are able to detect how are we doing. Then when we get the gap, we are able now to strategize and get to know what are we going to do. We are going to engage the community. This community doesn't have the knowledge about immunization. This community, there is a religious belief in this community. There is a culture that is affecting this community. That's how we strategize. So it's not that we've not done enough, but we are still doing enough, because there is something globally that we are going to mention at the end of this session. What are we doing to make sure that we have closed the gaps? And that's what we are calling about the big cash up. And as I started, the COVID-19, which was a major disease globally, affected so many things. And I said that some of the parents, the caregivers, they decided to call it off. Some of the caregivers, maybe they lost their registers or their MOH tool, the one that we are going to also show the public, what we normally use to make sure that there is a good follow-up or a reminder of what am I supposed to do, or when am I supposed to go for this antigen.
And that is very important for our viewers. This is Faith Today Television, and we are addressing the gaps we have seen in the immunization infrastructure. And we have experts from the sub-county helping us understand and also affirm that, of course, there are gaps, you know, the outbreaks are there, but we see that it is in these religious communities mostly that we find people with who are not really abiding or adhering to these programs. I'm happy to know that JCK Hospital, being a mission hospital, is making the emphasis to see that people are immunized and vaccinated all over. I think that is very important. And I believe other institutions are doing the same. And for those of you who have any questions concerning this subject, send your questions right away using that number on your screen. Speaking of that, you've given us a good background. We've been able to understand that immunization is very important, more so in the younger populations, because their immunity is weak, you know, so there's need to stimulate it, prepare it, and also, you know, deal with these diseases. Help us understand the schedule. How is it like, the immunization schedule? You have a tool. Maybe you can display that tool so we can now know what you really are doing.
Thank you very much. This is the MOH 260. This booklet is normally given to a mother during ANC. ANC, it's antenatal clinic. Remember, this mother is carrying a baby. So we need to take care of this mother and the child, and even to prepare this mother before and during and after. After, it's now the time that she has already given birth and the baby is here. And even before, during the ANC clinic, she is supposed also to receive some vaccines. We call them TD, or before we were calling them tetanus toxoid. Okay, but of late we are calling it TD. So in this booklet, there is a schedule. After the mother has given birth, there is a schedule of how she's going to do the follow-up with the baby. That is about immunization. Immediately the baby is born, the baby is given an antigen called BCG. The BCG antigen, it's normally given in Kenya, the left hand. And there is a side that is normally given. And it is different from other countries.
Yeah.
I know in Uganda,
it is
you normally given the right hand.
The right hand.
The right hand.
Yes.
But in Kenya, we give the
No.
left hand. And immediately the baby is born. So when the mother is still in hospital, the baby is given this antigen. And this antigen is given to prevent the baby from TB, that is tuberculosis. Remember what we said about the antigen, what the antibodies, the body antibodies. So it awakens the baby's antibodies, and then so that the baby will be able to have the immunity to fight back in case of this disease. And then the baby is also given a birth polio. That one is also to fight against the polio disease. That is given orally. The BCG is an injection. The oral polio is orally.
Already,
That is immediately. Then at 6 weeks, because we are just talking about immunization, at 6 weeks, the baby comes back again. And in the whole process, we are doing the growth monitoring. Growth monitoring involves the weighing of the child, checking on how the child is being breastfed, because at the first 6 months we talk about exclusive breastfeeding. This baby is not given anything, water or anything. Maybe another time we'll come and discuss about breastfeeding. So at 6 weeks it's given another first, now we call it first polio orally. And also given first penta. Penta means 5 diseases. That vaccine is given to prevent against 5 diseases. 5 diseases, that is diphtheria, pertussis, whooping cough, pneumonia. Okay? And Haemophilus pneumonia.
Tetanus.
And tetanus. So those 5 diseases is prevented with that penta. We normally call it first penta, as it's normally given at the thighs of the child. So that's time the mama comes and explain, my child was given this side one thigh and the other one thigh. That's how they describe. But we normally teach them before we give the vaccine. Then at 10 weeks, at the same time as 6 weeks, there is a rota vaccine. That one prevents against the rotavirus disease, about diarrheal diseases. But that doesn't mean that the child cannot get diarrhea. We also teach them about hygiene practice, so that this child can also not get diarrhea cases. But this is a preventive about against diarrheal diseases. Then at 10 weeks also come again, receive the second penta, same diseases, receive the rotavirus, and receive the the oral polio, the same diseases. Then at 14 weeks come again, receive the same the dad penta, the dad's oral polio, and the dad rotavirus vaccine, and also we add IPV. IPV, it's a polio vaccine, because the orally vaccine, it's normally it prevents against an antibody A and 1 and 3. But now the IPV, when we introduce it, it will prevent the antibody type 2.
It's like a booster dose, right?
Exactly. So it boosts the type 1, type 2, and type 3. That's why it is introduced at 14 weeks. Then that is not enough. At 6 months, this baby was supposed to be given vitamin A. At 6 months. Vitamin A. Then every 6 months, they are normally given vitamin A and dewormers. Dewormers at 1 year. Okay? Then at 9 months, this child comes again and receive the measles vaccine against measles, which is also a preventable disease. And we normally say 3 cases of measles, it's an outbreak.
Yeah.
If we have cases of measles, it's an outbreak.
And we've seen them already.
Exactly.
Right.
In fact, at Ruaraka, we already have 1 confirmed case.
Yeah.
Then at 1.5, the baby comes again, received a booster dose of measles vaccine.
Yeah.
So that is generally the schedule. But that doesn't mean that the growth monitoring will not continue.
Yeah.
As the baby receives the vaccine, most of the caregivers at 2 years, the baby has completed the vaccination.
Yeah.
They tend to forget about the growth monitoring, because like stunted growth comes in before 2 years.
Yeah.
After 2 years, this child can be stunted.
Yeah.
And it cannot be corrected. The importance of this mother or the caregiver coming for the growth and monitoring as she continues with the immunization.
Immunization
and a very important point, breastfeeding.
I know that point is hot.
Yes, it's very hot. That's why I want to connect before I finish.
That point, I don't want someone to miss who has just joined in. Can you prepare it very well and deliver it in the second part of our discussion?
No problem.
Perfect.
Yes.
That is Kimani for you.
Maybe just to add, just a minute to add.
Yeah, just to add, Gerald, we are going to take a short break because this is important.
I wanted to just mention that we also give the PCV10, the pneumococcal vaccine, at 6 weeks, at 10 weeks, and then at 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's just prevent the pneumonia.
Yes, just to prevent pneumonia. And that is very important. Yeah. For those of you who have just joined us, it seems as if we are just getting started. It's getting hotter and hotter. We hear Madam Kimani here has a take home that is key. You don't want to miss. But this is all to inform you that there are gaps and there are strategies to help us fill these gaps and help preserve and protect our children so that they can be healthy and be able to see the years we have seen today. So you don't want to miss this discussion in the second part of our presentation. We're going to talk about strategies, answer your questions, and help you get over this. Thank you so much, and you don't go anywhere.
Okay, asante. Nilikisajili kitabu ambacho kinaitwa 7 Keys to Success, ama kuna kanuni funguo 7 if you like it, ambazo zitakuletea ushindi na kufaulu maishani. Wote, wewe na mimi, tunataka kufaulu, lakini pia kuna njia ya kufaulu. Ukisoma hiki kitabu ambacho nilikiandika kwa kufanya utafiti, kwa maombi mengi, kuangalia neno la Mungu, I have no doubt ya kwamba hiki kitabu kitabadilisha maisha yako. Nilikuwa naongea na mchungaji rafiki yangu akaniambia, nilisoma hicho kitabu, sasa ninafundisha watu wangu kupitia ujuzi, maarifa, hekima ambayo nilipata kwa hiki kitabu. Kwa hivyo unaweza pia nunulia watu wengine, na akaniambia alinunulia hata viongozi wake na wamekuwa wakisoma, wakaweka kwa library yao wanasoma. Hiki kitabu sina mashaka, nina uhakika itabadilisha maisha yako na utabarikiwa. Tuma message ama upige simu kwa hiyo namba na naweza kuwasiliana na wewe na utapata hiki kitabu, utatumiwa, usome na ubariki pia watu wengine. Asante. Mungu akubariki unaposoma 7 Keys to Success, and you will succeed. Thank you.
Hello there, my name is Enock. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV.
Okay, welcome back once again to our discussion. We are filling up the gaps in the immunization infrastructure, and we have experts from the sub-county helping us identify these gaps and also giving us practical insights, steps to fill these gaps. You don't want to miss this discussion. The first part of the presentation helped us understand what immunization is and why it's very, very important for your child to get immunized. We are all exposed. That is a fact. We are all exposed. Even right now where we are, we breathe in different diseases, viruses, so much. But because of the protection we got when we are growing up, that is why we're able to fight back. Now, without that, that bullet protection, bulletproof, your immunity being very stronger, you may not really see better health. So it's important that you don't miss this discussion. I know we left it at when Madam Kimani was helping us understand the immunization schedule, the tools they are having, but also we have questions coming in. I believe this one is very hot. Before we carry on, Madam Kimani, you would want to answer Justus from Zimmerman. He came in very fast. He's asking, we always hear promises about better health care, but immunization gaps still exist. Why? I will repeat. We always hear promises about better health care, but immunization gaps still exist. Why? Probably Mr. Gerald can give his thought as Madam Kimani processes his answer as well.
So thank you for that question, Mr. Justus. For the immunization gaps, ours is to make vaccines that are available. They are very accessible in all our areas. Like, you say you are in Zimmerman. You have about 6 facilities offering vaccination. The access is very easy. So in terms of immunization gaps, maybe some of the difference of the knowledge gap. Otherwise, we are able to reach every child where they are within our sub-counties.
You're able to reach every child.
Yes,
is there a possibility of me preparing myself to go to a facility and then, to my surprise, they tell me there are no vaccines today? Have you experienced that?
No, currently all the vaccines are available. There are 9 of them currently in our system, and they are currently available in our facilities.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you are in Zimmerman, you will not access within your sub-county, with your ward, that is the Zimmerman. We have 3 public facilities. That is Marohi Health Center, we have Kameti Health Center, we have Kahabes. These are all public facilities.
Yeah. So vaccines are available.
And they offer free of charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So vaccines are available.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just as you get this, make sure that you follow up with your the nearby health facility so that you get immunized. And then we have Neema from Thika. Neema says, I took my child for her first vaccine, but I'm honestly confused about the booster shots. Why is it that important? You know, they are booster doses, right?
So what happens? So we normally give the first doses at 6 weeks. At 6 weeks. And these boosters, they only build your immunity. The more you get, the better. You can realize the way you have been doing the polio campaigns, the polio. So the more the more the child get, the better. The immunity is built, keep on building up, keep on renewing that immunity. So the more vaccine you get, the better.
Yeah. And I think it's important, so even as to contribute to the herd immunity, you know, in case of an outbreak, someone who is boosted their immunity is not as someone who really has low forms of, you know, this. So it's very important. Booster doses are very important. You are saying something?
Again, I can also add that when you get maybe like the measles, the level of conversion, seroconversion, okay, you can get the vaccine, but it does not get into the body is not able to. Maybe the first one, maybe the second one, you can get that immunity. So it's not a matter that you get the vaccine and then you get the immunity immediately. So what I do, you can give it the first one, then the second one. So we normally say seroconvert.
Yeah.
Did you get that immunity in the first dose?
Yeah.
So we normally give the second dose as boosters, so that if it did not, You get the second one that you can be able to seroconvert. You get that immunity.
Wow, perfect. I believe Madam Kimani has something to add on that.
If I can add on that, that's
Yes.
why I'm still holding this very important booklet.
Yes, yes.
Talking to our community that the schedule must be followed as it is. If you're given a date, specific date, that is maybe at 9 months, come for the measles vaccine on this particular date, please make sure you come, because that one also helps in your immunity. If you come later than that, it is not like that person who came the exact date. Yes, you'll be given the vaccine, but your immunity will be a bit different because you came late. So it is good to follow the scheduled clinics dates.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And I remember where we had stopped and said that we need to insist that beside the vaccines, you need to breastfeed this baby for 6 months and to continue breastfeeding even the introduction of the feeds. That's where I wanted our community to get. When you introduce the feeds after 6 months, you continue breastfeeding, you continue feeding the child, and you continue coming for the clinic. This one will help in the growth and development of this child.
Perfect.
And then this book, MOH 216, every mother has this book. And in this book, we are taught about the danger signs. We are taught about the feeds, if at all this one can be captured, how to feed your child.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there is also where we normally feel the weight.
So these are all supplementaries, on top of immunization.
The weight of the baby. Remember, when the child comes for vaccination, we also weigh the baby.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that in terms of nutrition status, we get to know how the baby is growing.
Yeah.
Then there are also danger signs of this baby that you can detect.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, this book has everything.
Yeah.
Even detecting some of the, like in page, I know it is page 25.
Yeah.
25 also talks about how you can detect whether this baby is okay by looking at the eyes of this baby. Okay, you are able to detect. In fact, it says identification of early eye problems in an infant. So it's not only about immunization in this book, it's all cutting across.
Okay.
Thank you
and I
very
think that's
much.
very important
Very
for our
important
viewers.
book.
This is a very important tool. Like Madam Kimani has alluded to, you don't just come and get vaccinated. There are other supplementaries, there are other benefits you get. They get to monitor the health of your body, the growth of your body, because of your baby, just in case this baby is stunted, you identify it, they're able to correct it as soon as possible. Very, very important. She has talked about nutrition. I believe when you go to JCK Hospital, are they able to deliver such information?
Yes, they are.
Perfect.
We
You get
normally
the answer.
have in charges meetings
Yes,
where
yes.
we involve all the in charges of the public and the private facilities, and we update them on any information that is an update.
It's an update.
So everyone is updated, not unless there is someone new who has come in, need to be updated again.
Wow, that is interesting. Yes, of course, this is all possible because of JCK Hospital. We are partnering with them and they are making sure you get this information. Make sure you check them out. As we proceed, I have a question. We have so many questions coming in today. This is Kevin. Kevin is asking, my child's school keeps sending consent forms for vaccinations, but I always refuse because I am not sure if they are necessary. Am I making the right choice, or should I be saying yes, yes, yes? Gerald, what do you have to say?
So in terms of maybe for the consents,
Yeah.
indeed today we have the HPV vaccine, and we are involving the teachers, we are involving the parents. We normally have the meeting with the teachers, with the parents. We normally give the health talks. But these girls, they have 10 to 14 years. We need the parents' consent to give us the go-ahead to vaccinate their children.
Yeah,
Actually, for the babies who are under 1 year, they are brought to the facilities by their parents.
Yeah.
So by parents bring their children to the facilities, it's as if they are already consented to vaccination.
Yeah, yeah.
But for girls who are 10 years, they are alone in their schools.
Yeah.
So we need their parents' consent so that the girls can get the HPV vaccine.
Okay.
And remember, the HPV vaccine is to prevent the cervical cancer for girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So consent is very, very important for the parents. So girls are less than 18 years, so they cannot consent on their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is important,
Very important.
that the forms come in.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've talked about only girls. Are the only girls exposed to this, to cancer of cancer of the cervix is to the girls. Why are boys left out? Why are they not in the picture?
So I guess for the boys, they are also eligible for vaccination.
Yes.
But the government policy, maybe if you go to other countries like America, boys, girls, they are vaccinated in different countries.
Yeah.
But for us, because maybe the vaccine is a bit expensive, so the government policy came up that only girls will be vaccinated.
Yeah.
Only girls will be vaccinated because they are the one who get the cancer of the cervix.
Yeah, cancer of the cervix.
Yeah, so.
But we also know that this HPV can also bring about cancer of the penis, right?
Yeah.
In the boys. Well, are there other vaccines that are given to now the adults, maybe past 5 years? Help us understand that, Madam Kimani.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I'll go back briefly about the question. The person who called says that she always or he always, I don't know whether it's a man or a lady. It's a man. He always refuses.
Yeah.
It is important for you to agree because we said one case of, for example, polio, it's an outbreak.
Into an outbreak.
What will you say to the child?
I know.
If that child is affected, we have even seen in the media, other medias, the champions coming out and saying, if I knew, if my mother knew,
Yeah.
she could have taken me for the immunization because the person has already gotten polio disease.
Yeah.
And when you get polio disease, you either die or you become a cripple. We normally have a champion in Kenya. If maybe next time we'll come with him.
I think that's important.
Yeah, for the public to see it is real.
Yeah.
Polio is real.
Yeah.
And he goes with crashes. I'm able to talk about him because he has come out publicly.
Yeah.
So for Kevin, I urge you, please, when you see a concert, go yourself to the nearest public facility with that concert and inquire more. Is this okay? Is this it's whatever it's being done to my child? Is it okay? Go and inquire. You'll be given the full information about that vaccine. Don't just sit and say, I'm not going to act to this vaccine, because I know you're going to ask us about the strategies that we are applying. This concept has come from school. It has not come from, it is not as we have delivered. So we go to school, we give the concept, that the teacher gives the child, and then the child takes to the mother. So you have a right to this information. Go to the nearest facility, and we said we have public-private partnership. Go to any facility. As long as this facility has skilled health workers, because not anyone who has a dust coat or a white coat is skilled. So when you go there, Kevin, you'll be given all the information that you need so that you can be comfortable.
Wow, perfect. Kevin, we have really done you so much justice, and I am sure you have subscribed and you are doing the job of helping us reach as many people out there with this quality information. Thank you so much. We have another question. Good morning. Can we get insight of HPV and private vaccines? This person did not give us a question, the name, but it is important that you help us know where you are and your name so we can follow up on you.
The question again?
Again, good morning. Can we get insight of HPV? You are alluding to HPV and private vaccines. Are there other private vaccines, if any?
So I don't know what he means about the private vaccine, because beside the HPV, we also have yellow fever vaccine.
Yeah.
Maybe you normally hear when someone is traveling, an adult, you need a yellow fever, or some children need a yellow fever vaccine.
Yeah.
So it is there. But in government facilities, we said that you are able to access all those vaccines. When you go to private, you'll get the vaccine, but at a little charge, because they are also having the staff to pay, to buy other things. In a private, it's a bit different from the public, but we still urge them to charge very little amount. But in government facility, when you go, you'll be able to access.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You need to answer Jerry.
Maybe to add on that, in terms of the private vaccines, they are available in the private facilities. Maybe just an example of the measles vaccine. The measles, for the private, normally give the measles, rubella, and the mumps. So for their measles is an added advantage. So to cover 3 diseases, the mumps, the rubella, and then the measles. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Jerry says, here from Pangani, I'm pregnant, and I was told I need a tetanus shot. I didn't get one with my first baby, and everything was fine. Do I really need it this time?
Thank you very much, Jerry, for that question. Yes, you actually need it. You actually need it because we said TD, that's what we call it, it prevents you against tetanus. And since you didn't know that you were supposed to get with your first pregnancy, right now, please get the information that you are supposed to get the vaccine so that you can build your immunity. And when you go and be given the same book that we are talking about, MOH 216, there is a schedule that the healthcare workers will be able to follow, and you'll be advised accordingly.
Wow, that's a great answer. Jerry, you get sorted there. I know there are questions coming in, but it's important that we now understand the strategies. You were to give us the strategies. What are those strategies?
Thank you very much. There are different strategies that we normally apply, and according to where we started the discussion, we said like one of the gap, it's caused by the religious belief. That is one of the strategy where we go and look for those leaders of that religion. We talk to them, because if the leader embraces the information, the other people will be able to receive whatever we are talking about. So we call that leader to that stakeholders meeting. So a stakeholder meeting, it's one of the strategy. So we involve one of the leader from that church, or a traditional assistant or traditional healer. You know, there are some who also go to the traditional healers. We also call one of them to the stakeholders meeting. We call the opinion readers in the community. That's the chiefs. We call them the girls, the girls, and the uniformed. We call the sub-county admins, the ward admins, the nyumba kumi, the wazee wa kijiji. Then we also call the healthcare workers, like the sub-county public health nurse who has the information. Maybe we are talking about immunization, so that we can give them the benefits and the importance of the immunization. That is one strategy. Another strategy is media engagement, like what we are doing here today. Making for the media engagement, we are able to reach out to a big group of people. Like now, the coverage is not like the way I would like. I would go to the community and engage one-on-one, all in a group, what we call the FGDs. So media engagement, it's another strategy, and not only the mainstream media, we also have the radio in the community, the community radio. We normally check on which radio is normally listened to by this community, so that when we go there, we'll be able to go to that radio, so that when this mama who woke up at 4 a.m. to go to the market, they normally carry their small radios and put them aside, or even other market feeders, and they listen. We get to know which FM frequency they normally listen to, and then we engage through that community radio. Another strategy is doing the FGDs, the focus group discussions with the mamas. Another strategy is having support groups in the facility or even outside the facility. Another strategy is going to schools where we normally educate the teachers and the parents. Remember, in schools they also have parents meetings, so we ride on those meetings to make sure the parents or the caregiver understand what are we doing, so that even the child, when takes the information that what one of the listeners talked about, the consent, he will be able as a parent to understand, yes, I had that information. That is another strategy. Another strategy, I talked about the churches, where we visit the churches during the Sunday service. We give the information. We are given 30 minutes and we deliver the information. The Muslim community, we also visit the mosque to make sure that we also give them the information. And in my stakeholders meeting, the one I mentioned, we also involve the religious leaders. All those are strategies. Then we also have, if at all we have a campaign, there is, we normally do the letters as one of the strategy, making sure that everyone has been reached with the information. There is an outbreak, and that's why we are coming to you. We normally do the road shows, making sure that the information has reached to everyone, having the key messages and delivering the key messages. We also distribute the posters, having that information on the flyers, even in the matatu industry. In my stakeholder meeting, I'll also involve the transport manager to make sure that when I go, like, for example, Roysambu, Kahawa West, in our sub-county, we normally have Nzuri transport industry. So I'll involve one of the readers. So we also go to the industries, the workplaces. All those are strategies that we normally use. The vinyosi, the kinyosi, the salon, the colleges that we are having, you know, higher learning institution, the universities. We go, if all those are strategies that we normally use to make sure that we have delivered the information. And globally, we are also doing the big cash up. And the big cash up came out because of the COVID-19. That some of our members decided to stay. Even in church, they are elderly people that decided to stay at home because they are fearing to come to the crowd. So the big cash up, it's there to restore and to strengthen, to come back to where we were before. Remember, we were having, where we were being locked in the house. We call it what?
The quarantine.
The quarantine. You know, we were inside the house. So some of them, they didn't come for the vaccination. The reason why the big cash up. I
really like
it
when she has given a very long array of the strategies you see people are having, you know, and I like the way you have delivered it. It is as though it is coming from the heart, and you guys are doing your best. We really appreciate. Because of time, Mr. Gerald, I know you are now calling for another part 3 of this discussion, but as we wind up, probably give us your, I mean, what is your take home you want this listener or viewer to have today as we wrap up in just a second?
Maybe just to add on what she has said, another strategy that we normally go out of our facilities, so to go to the communities to carry out some outreaches within our communities. Again, we also embrace the concept of the CHP, community health promoters. It is for them to ensure that there's no child who is left unvaccinated in the community. So my last strategy is just to encourage mothers to know that immunization is very important, so that they can be able to protect our communities from all the infectious diseases. So we encourage you to bring your babies to our facilities. We are open to you. Thank you.
Wow, you are open to them. Thank you so much. Madam Kimani.
Yes.
In your, I would call it parting shots in just seconds, if you would.
Yes. Immunization saves life. So let us be there and advocate for it wherever you are. Advocate for immunization because it's going to save our lives. Thank you.
Perfect. I mean, we cannot really have it all today, but I believe this is calling for another discussion. Let questions keep coming in. I know you guys really need to hear more from these people. We are going to be able to answer you. The thread is filling the immunization gap. Thank you so much, Madam Kimani and Mr. Gerald, for your valuable insights. We are so honored to have you on Faith Today Television. And for our viewers, it is now very, very imperative for us to take this serious and know that much as vaccines save lives, it will only do so when it reaches the right people. We have seen the government, of course the sub-county representatives are doing whatever they can to ensure that everyone gets this vaccine, and then we save our lives, save our children. It's very important. They are doing their part. The question is, are you doing your part? We've seen struggles. We've seen people really preventing their children from getting these vaccines, even as they are being availed by the government. But is that right? Could you be the one who is exposing us to these outbreaks? It's important that you take this important. And of course, we want to appreciate JCK Hospital that is making this show possible. Make sure that you pass by, get this information. We are told by the people who supply them with these vaccines that the vaccines are on, in the cabins, they are in the refrigerators there, they are waiting for you. So you need to make time and pass by, get vaccinated. It's very important, good for your health, good for your immunity, your family, and the nation at large. And of course, as we wind up, we want to remind you that we pray for you. Those of you who are watching this show, you are watching it from hospital, at your bed, and you are blessed. We want to remind you that the doctors who are serving you are an extension of God's healing hand. And we pray that your healing comes forth speedily in Jesus' name. My name is Enock Kitondekijja, and this is The Healthy You. Until we meet next time, stay protected, stay informed, stay vaccinated. God bless you. Catch you next time.
This is a hospital in Risambo along Lumumba Drive. We are level 4 facility, SHA accredited.